This is booked for drama, where stories burn, hearts break, the tea is always hot and never a part 2. Today we're diving into Love Grows Slowly. Let's go. Chapter 1. My best friend and I got married at the same time. She married her childhood friend, now a domineering CEO, while I married my lifelong sweetheart, a professor. Coincidentally, these two men are brothers, so my best friend and I became sisters-in-law. I thought marrying my childhood love would bring happiness, but our married life turned out to be far from ideal. Her husband was often rumored to be involved with his secretary, while my professor husband was known to be quite the ladies' man. One day, we met up and came to the same conclusion. I'm getting a divorce. Me too. We left our divorce papers behind and went on an international trip together, accompanied by several incredibly fit male models. However, just as I was about to spend the night with one of these models, I was caught red-handed. My husband gritted his teeth and said, "You have me, yet you're still interested in others?" When I tried to find Simon Foster, my husband, I was blocked and humiliated by his business partner, who said I wasn't good enough for Simon and couldn't help his work at all. Meanwhile, my friend Bella Key tried to see Cyrus Foster, her husband, but was stopped at the door by his secretary, who accused her of lacking ambition and only caring about love, thus interfering with the CEO's management of the company. These brothers wouldn't answer our calls and would read our messages without replying. This wasn't the first time it had happened. People in our social circle often said that childhood sweethearts often end up in business marriages. They claimed the Foster brothers were clever, keeping up appearances at home while having affairs outside. Supposedly, they both had someone else in mind but couldn't marry them due to social status, so they married us as a cover. Whenever these rumors reached the brothers, they never denied them, which was as good as admitting it. Their cold attitude towards us after marriage seemed to confirm this. After meeting at the Foster home, Bella and I had the same thought. We discussed it and both decided, divorce. We were both daddy's girls who had never been so insulted before. The way people around our husbands treated us reflected how our husbands viewed us. We figured, one hole in the ground is as good as another. We can live without them. Although we were angry, we didn't lose our heads. I quietly contacted a lawyer, while my friend researched travel routes. For the time being, we kept our plans to ourselves. That evening, Simon came home with my favorite pastries. He was affectionate as usual, complaining about his tiring day at the lab and how annoying the old scholars were. Then he buried his big head in my lap, nuzzling me. His voice and expression seemed normal, but what he didn't know was that I knew him too well. Whenever he felt guilty, his ears would twitch slightly. He was trying to gauge if I was angry. If he had just explained himself directly, I might not have been so upset. But he insisted on this charade. Indeed, people change as they grow up. No exceptions. For the first time, I lay beside him in bed but couldn't sleep. Listening to his breathing and looking at the night sky outside the window, my heart felt heavy and painful. Simon and I had grown up together. Our families were equally influential. In school, he was always first, and I was second. We were always the kids other parents bragged about. When we finally got together and married, everyone said it was a perfect match. I thought so too, but after marriage, I realized I was wrong. Besides me, he was always surrounded by many women, Ms. Sue today, Ms. Yates yesterday, Ms. Lewis the day before. Although there was nothing substantial, he treated them as close female friends, which was enough to make me sick. I've confronted him about this many times, but each time he brushed it off. They're just work relationships. Don't overthink it. You're the only one in my heart. Be good, Yara. Don't make a fuss. I'm tired. He never truly addressed the issue. It's rather sad, isn't it? What else is there to hold on to? Chapter 2. My best friend and I were shopping for suitcases when we bumped into Cyrus' secretary. She was browsing rings and smirked when she saw us. "Miss Key, hope you didn't fight with the CEO after our last encounter," she said with faux concern. Men have their careers, and we women should know our place. Wouldn't want to be replaced by someone younger and prettier, right? Her thinly veiled insults and hints about her relationship with Cyrus were infuriating. Such provocation was intolerable. Before my hot-headed friend could react, I stepped in and slapped the secretary hard. "Pretty bold for a homewrecker," I snapped. "What makes you think you can flaunt yourself in front of the wife?" I noticed the secretary's affected manner and fleeting glances, sensing something was amiss. Sure enough, footsteps approached from behind. Just then, Cyrus appeared. He checked his secretary's face and glared at me. "Simon spoiled you rotten," he growled. My friend tried to explain, but Cyrus cut her off. "Still defending her? I know what I saw. What's gotten into you two?" His condescending tone made my blood boil. If I could have taken him in a fight, I would have slapped him too. My friend, even angrier, gripped my hand tightly. "You don't get it, Cyrus," she yelled. "You used to notice my every mood. Now you're CEO, and you're blind to how I'm being treated." "Watch it," Cyrus warned. My friend took a deep breath. "Fine, fire her, and I'll behave. Or don't, I know you've got plenty of secretaries." Cyrus slapped her hand away hard. "Enough with the jealousy," he snapped. The blow left her hand swollen. Cyrus seemed to regret it for a moment but said nothing. "Keep this up, and we're getting divorced," he threatened before leaving with his secretary. As they walked away, my friend collapsed into my arms, sobbing. "He wasn't always like this," she choked out between tears. Chapter 3. My best friend and Cyrus have known each other longer. They've been together since kindergarten and share a bond forged through life-threatening experiences. Unable to retaliate directly against the Foster family, their enemies targeted Cyrus, who was still in kindergarten. Disguised as servants, they abducted him. My friend sensed something was wrong and insisted on going along. En route, she realized the danger and secretly alerted the police using her smartwatch. The police tracked the watch's location and apprehended the kidnappers. As a child, Cyrus was particularly clingy towards my friend. As they grew older, he became less overt but started approaching her subtly. He even secretly intercepted guys who wanted to confess to her. Simon told me about this later. I thought their relationship would be even more stable than mine and Simon's, given its storybook beginning. I never imagined it would end like this. We bought suitcases and returned to the foster house. The butler curiously asked what we were up to, but I brushed him off with a casual, "We're going on a trip." My family's legal team had already quietly drafted divorce papers for me. Since we both wanted a clean break, planning to take any of his assets. We married with nothing and would leave the same way, not taking even a cloud with us. We took what we could and arranged for our own butler to collect the rest. After signing the papers and leaving them on the table, we started packing. Before boarding the plane, we called our families to briefly explain our marital situation. My friend and I get along so well because we come from similar backgrounds and are both the cherished daughters of families. By the time the foster family's butler realized something was amiss, my friend and I were already out the door with our suitcases. I also have an older brother. When my brother heard why I couldn't continue the marriage, he was furious. "That scoundrel Simon, you're right to leave him, sis. If you didn't, you'd end up with a forest growing on your head," he exclaimed, referring to being cheated on. He then suggested, "I manage a team of male models. There are plenty of good-looking, obedient guys. Since Simon likes to have female confidants, we can arrange for some handsome companions on your trip." His wife immediately scolded him, "Don't corrupt your sister." However, the idea of the male models joining us wasn't scrapped. As soon as we landed, our phones were flooded with hundreds of calls from Simon and his brother. I ignored them all and blocked their numbers. After resting at the hotel for a night, my brother's model team arrived. They ranged from wolf dog types to puppy types, cool and aloof to charming and seductive. 6 or 7 men, all as handsome as the Foster brothers, but with an added bonus: they were obedient. They carried our bags, introduced us to local cuisine and attractions, and even acted as tour guides. They were truly all-round talents. Most importantly, they were sweet talkers. "Miss Yara, you should try this dish. If you don't like it, I can cook for you during our trip. Miss Bella, you shouldn't eat spicy food right now. I know a bit about medicine, and I sense you're a bit irritable lately. If anything's bothering you, please tell me." They were attentive and considerate, far superior to those two. With such pampering, my anger, which had been at full blast, was reduced by at least 30%. Chapter 4. I spent the morning splurging at luxury boutiques with my bestie. After a quick lunch sampling local cuisine, we planned to check out some iconic architecture. Just as we were about to head out, my brother called, his voice dripping with schadenfreude. "Yara, Simon came looking for you. Mom sent him packing," he chuckled. "Word is, those two brothers are desperately searching for their wives, clueless that you both skipped town. Karma's a bitch, huh? They didn't appreciate what they had, and now they're left high and dry." I laughed, agreeing. Why come crawling back now? Playing the devoted husband act? Please, where was this energy before? After 2 days of touristy stuff, we were getting bored. On a whim, we decided to start a livestream. We set up a catchy title, picked a spot, and went live. First, crickets. But once a few hot male models joined us on screen, viewers started pouring in from all over. We got into it, chatting with the audience and showcasing local attractions. It was all fun and games until we ran into a few jerks. They didn't realize we were streaming and started harassing us, making faces and crude gestures. It reminded me of those viral videos of guys bothering women in public. Quick thinking, I had my friend start recording. I smiled at the creeps and said, "FYI, this is all on video. I'm sure the local cops would love to have a chat with you about it." Their faces dropped. They looked ready to get aggressive, but then our model squad showed up. The troublemakers realized they were outnumbered and on camera. Our assistant uploaded the clip, catching the attention of the authorities. Soon enough, some officials brought the young men to apologize. Crisis averted, but our comment section blew up. "These girls don't mess around. Ha, they picked the wrong targets. Those guys are lucky they didn't get decked. BTW, are those models bodyguards? Because, damn, y'all are thirsty. The girls are gorgeous too, you know." Our follower count exploded, but we didn't care much. We were in it for the fun, not the fame. Today's stream was all about food. Viewers wanted to see us hit up the famous local buffet, so here we were. I told the models to do their own thing, but 2 stayed with us. Interestingly, they both resembled our husbands a bit. The one dining with me had Simon's profile, but with a cooler vibe. His twin looked more like Cyrus. I couldn't shake the feeling that my brother had a hand in this setup. With Mr. Handsome serving me food, I realized this aligned perfectly with my brother's relationship philosophy. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone new. Right on cue, a message from him popped up. "Live it up, sis. What happens at the buffet is one thing, but the hotel's another story. Don't worry, your bros pics are way cleaner than your ex's." My friend saw the message and rolled her eyes. "Your brother's progressive, isn't he?" I was at a loss for words. Chapter 5. The livestream kicked off, and I was enjoying the back and forth with my viewers. Suddenly, a stranger connected, shattering the chill vibe. This girl came in hot, cursing up a storm. The chat froze for a sec, then some of my loyal fans rushed to her stream to give her. I couldn't help but laugh, even though I was ticked off. My bestie and I decided to clap back. "You're a real eyesore," we quipped. "Your mom must have skipped mirrors during pregnancy." One look, and she'd have dropped dead. The girl's lip quivered. Speechless and fuming, she bailed. The chat went wild. Damn, she folded that fast? Those burns were mild, not even R-rated. Girl, you're a legend. I'm dead. As I basked in the comments, I munched on snacks the hot male assistant had prepped. The viewers were green with envy. Boyfriend material right there, and a total smoke show. Mr. Hottie shook his head. Nah, we're just her brother's hired help. I need a brother like that. Girl, ask if he's taking applications for new sisters. I thought for a beat, then dropped a simple, nope. Cue the flood of crying emojis. Then, out of nowhere, isn't this the boss's wife? He's losing it trying to find you. Even with the chat flying, that one caught my eye. Let him lose it, I muttered, my mood souring. We kept eating and drinking, forgetting our lightweight status. Soon, we were a mess, stumbling home with the assistant's help. My filter was gone, and this guy looked so much like Simon, I couldn't resist teasing him. I pinched his cheek. Hey cutie, are you legal? He blushed but didn't pull away. Yara, you're wasted. Nah, I'm crystal clear. So, got a girlfriend? If not, I was about to face plant into his chest when someone yanked him away. As I teetered backward, strong arms caught me. A familiar, pissed-off voice growled, got me, but still chasing tail? Next thing I knew, I was in bed, aching all over. Being married, I had a pretty good idea what went down. Flashes came back, Simon's face in the dim light, holding me like he'd never let go, devouring me. Then, his voice, all hurt. Am I not enough? Why'd you replace me? We went at it till dawn, him making me repeat, I love you, like a broken record. My head was pounding. I must have mixed up the assistant with Simon in my drunken haze. I threw on a robe, hearing the shower running. Leaning on the bathroom door, I started, look, I'll own up to this. Didn't know I'd go wild drunk. Don't stress, I'm divorcing anyway. If you end up solo, we could hook up. I'll get my bro to hook you up with gigs. The water cut off. The door flew open, and before I could step back, I was yanked into a steamy bear hug. A bite on my shoulder, then that voice, who exactly are you owning up to? I froze, looked up, and gasped, Simon? Chapter 6. I was dragged back to the country against my will. My attempts to call my best friend went unanswered. As I tried again, Simon snatched my phone away. My brother took your friend. You won't reach her, he said flatly. Frustrated, I reached for my phone, but Simon tucked it into his clothes. Getting it meant potentially falling into his arms, exactly what he wanted, the scheming jerk. When I didn't take the bait, disappointment flashed across his face. Yara, why divorce? I'll give you anything you want. I scoffed and turned away, feeling his burning gaze on my back. It took all my self-control not to slap him. Once I'd calmed down, I faced him again. It's simple, stay away from me. Let's divorce and sign the papers, I said. Your fangirls are right, you don't need to be tied down. Your world's bigger than mine, I'd only hold you back. Childhood sweethearts rarely beat whirlwind romances. Bella and I get that now. It's time to let go and make someone else. Simon remained silent until we landed. He grabbed my suitcase before I could, forcing me to walk beside him. As we neared the exit, I reached for it again. Suddenly, a woman approached, her voice dripping with venom. You again? Are you insane? Do you know how precious Simon's hands are? How dare you make him carry your luggage? I recognized her, the business partner who'd blocked me before. I used to care about Simon's feelings, but I was done being a pushover. Lady, are you blind? Can't you see Simon won't let me take it? I snapped. She was livid, probably unused to being challenged. Red-faced and panting, she stomped her foot and turned to Simon with a sickeningly sweet voice. Simon, look at her. I met Simon's gaze, my smile bitter. Go on, aren't you going to scold me for your dear friend? Like your brother did? Tell me how uncouth and ill-mannered I am. This is just one of many. If you really want to hurt me, call Ms. Yates or Ms. Lewis, they've got sharp tongues too. And let's not forget all the others. The list of Simon's female friends was endless. You should be asking why Bella and I have to leave. Isn't it obvious by now? I stared him down. Cernan Foster, let's divorce. I mean it this time. Chapter 7. Simon watched silently as I got into my brother's car. He trailed us all the way home, then lingered by the roadside like a lost puppy. I hadn't seen that look on his face since his parents died. Feeling sorry for him? My brother asked. I shook my head. He'll get used to it. I flashed back to the day Simon's parents passed. He stood alone in the rain, tears mixing with raindrops. I held an umbrella over us both for hours. When the rain finally stopped, he noticed me. Need a hug? I offered, arms open. After the Foster family patriarch died, relatives circled like vultures, eager to tear the family apart. Luckily, Cyrus Foster was old enough to take charge. Those were rough times. That's when I got engaged to Simon, figuring the Jones family could legitimately help Cyrus with me in the picture. It was the first time I'd felt sorry for a guy. My bestie would have said feeling sorry for a man brings a lifetime of bad luck. One moment of sympathy for years of frustration? Sounds like a raw deal to me. Fresh off my overseas streaming gig, I wasn't about to sit at home twiddling my thumbs around Simon. I started finding my own stuff to do. He wouldn't let me leave? Fine, I'd take his bodyguards and live my life anyway. When he went out, so did I. But when he came home, I didn't always follow suit. The butler got antsy watching this play out. He'd remind me, Yara, Simon's struggling too. Don't be mad at him. He really loves you. I shot back. What? The kind of love where he's faithful at home but plays the field outside. The butler clammed up, looking at Simon in shock. He never brought it up again after that. Once my bestie was free, we started hitting the town together. More streams meant more chances of being recognized. Sometimes, people even staked us out. Today, we were grabbing a bite when Cyrus' secretary spotted us. She probably thought she could pull her old tricks, but she underestimated the power of social media and our zero fucks given attitude. My bestie and I exchanged a look. I grabbed my phone, ready for her to make her move. She addressed our live audience. Hey everyone, you know Bella and I are married but heading for divorce, right? Some things are still under wraps, but vultures are already circling, like this lady here. The secretary, seeing her plan backfire, tried to flip the script. We weren't having it. My bestie dialed Cyrus right there. Cyrus, your side piece is embarrassing herself in front of me again. Come get her, or my security will toss her out. After a pause, Cyrus' deep voice came through. Who are you talking about? My bestie laughed bitterly. Who else? The secretary I told you to fire, but you didn't. Don't tell me you've got so many women you can't keep track. No, Cyrus said, stunned. My bestie pressed. Know what? Spit it out. I don't have any other women. Just you. His words left us all speechless. Gave the secretary a pointed look. Looks like someone's angling for Mr. Foster to play daddy without putting in the work. My bestie rubbed her temples. I don't know who's telling the truth, but your woman's causing trouble. Cyrus must have called his security chief to deal with it. 2 guys showed up and escorted me. Chapter 8. The day before our divorce cooling-off period ended, I sent a message to Simon. The reply I received was shocking. Simon is in my hands. If you want him alive, transfer 50% of the Foster family's shares to me. I knew Simon would never joke about something like this, and I felt a surge of anxiety. I immediately called him. The first call didn't connect, but I quickly received a callback. It was a video call, and there was Simon, tied to a chair. My blood ran cold. The kidnapper warned, send a message to Cyrus Foster. Your phone is monitored. If you call the police, I'll kill Simon. To be safe, I slightly altered the kidnapper's message and sent it to Cyrus, hoping he would understand my hidden plea and act quickly. The kidnapper then ordered, come to the warehouse on the outskirts immediately, or I'll cut off one of Simon's hands. His hands are very valuable. You should understand, the kidnapper replied coldly. In the video, Simon was shaking his head desperately, but this only earned him a heavy blow to the abdomen from the kidnapper. Seeing his pained, pale face, I had no choice but to agree. I rushed to the designated location. As soon as I arrived, I felt a surge of electricity and lost consciousness. When I woke up, I found myself tied to a chair in the warehouse, taking Simon's place. Several masked kidnappers were video chatting with Simon. The lead kidnapper sneered, I thought your relationship was really broken, but it seems I was wrong. Thanks to modern technology, it's easy to create a fake video and deceive someone. You two must be deeply in love, even though you're about to divorce. I turned my head away, not wanting to see Simon in the video, cursing myself for being so foolish. My friend was right, feeling sorry for a man only brings trouble. The kidnapper's demand was simple. The Foster family must transfer 50% of their shares to Simon's uncle, and no one should call the police. This demand clearly indicated that the mastermind behind the kidnapping was likely related to the Foster family. You're incredibly cautious, Cyrus remarked. I surrounded myself with people, yet you fixated on those 2 women. A hazy realization was forming in my mind, but an invisible barrier still obscured the full picture. With my mouth gagged, I was frustratingly mute. The kidnapper pressed on, enough stalling. Have what I want ready before sunset, or I can't promise this girl will come back in one piece. As the call was about to end, Cyrus cut in abruptly. No need to wait, I'm ready now. My stomach dropped. I shook my head frantically at Cyrus, but the kidnapper caught me, yanking my hair. On screen, Simon stood behind Cyrus, his face a storm of rage and fear. Let her go. Simon's voice was a tense whisper. A vicious slap cracked across my face. At that moment, the door was kicked open, and Simon appeared. 2 incapacitated men lay at the entrance, presumably accomplices of the kidnappers. The kidnapper, enraged, grabbed me and was about to stab me in the heart with a knife, but Simon intervened just in time. Despite being injured, he held onto the knife and pulled me into his arms, kicking the kidnapper away with a swift move. The police quickly subdued the criminals. Seeing Simon's bleeding hand, I was anxious and tearful. He held me tightly, his body trembling, and pleaded. Please don't divorce me. I have no ties with those women. They were arranged by the investors, and I had no idea. Yara, I'm begging you. Tears streamed down my face as I replied, I won't divorce you, but you must first get everything to Bella and me. Otherwise, there's no point in continuing this marriage. Okay, I'll explain everything as soon as we get back. Simon promised firmly. Chapter 9. With official proof in hand, my best friend and I pieced together the story. Over the past 6 months, Simon and Cyrus discovered a traitor within the company their parents had worked so hard to save. Someone was trying to sabotage it from the inside. Following the clues, they identified the secretary who had been deliberately getting close to Cyrus. To uncover everyone involved, Cyrus brought her directly under his supervision. To the gossip-loving office workers, it looked like Cyrus had a thing for the young and attractive secretary and was pursuing a romantic relationship. As for Simon, he was the real victim here. He knew the investor funding his experiment liked to stir up trouble and use his looks to attract female investors. What he didn't expect was that the investor would essentially assign him to these women. The next step could have been something as outrageous as selling his body. After I confronted him at the airport, he went back to investigate and, along with his older brother, gave that investor a good beating. Simon even revealed his true identity. Cyrus went a step further and found a way to take over the investor's company. After explaining all this, my best friend was still furious. She put her hands on her hips and demanded of Cyrus, never mind everything else, but you still haven't resolved the issue of you scolding me because of that secretary. Cyrus pinched the bridge of his nose and smiled wryly. I was wronged too. I discovered she had an unusual flow of funds and went to investigate. I happened to see her meeting with my uncle. I was worried you might get targeted. I wanted to explain it to you when I got back, but various things delayed me. By the time I returned, you and your best friend had already left home. I touched my nose, realizing that I might indeed share some of the blame here. Simon, using his uninjured hand, pulled me into his arms. All right, this matter is more our fault for not explaining things clearly in the first place. It's no wonder Yara and Bella misunderstood. He then produced a package from who knows where and tossed it onto the ground with a thud. I was planning to give this to you later, but now seems like a good time. Cyrus was taken aback. He opened the package and fell silent. It was a pair of knee pads and a frilly apron. Chapter 10. I found Yara drunk and hanging on some male model. Furious, I lost it. When I came to my senses, Yara had passed out. I felt guilty, worried she'd be mad. I even thought letting her hit me when she woke up might help. But she didn't. Instead, she firmly rejected me. I had no idea how much she'd been hurting. After landing, I called my brother and set up a meeting to teach that investor a lesson. Did she think I was some powerless professor she could push around? Big mistake. I couldn't wait to tell Yara, but my brother rushed to me with urgent news. Yara was in trouble because of me. He figured out she'd been tricked by an Al-face swap. The kidnappers wanted shares, not money. I knew exactly who was behind it. We turned the tables, using Al-tech ourselves. But I didn't expect that scumbag to hit Yara. I kicked him hard, wishing I could have done worse if I wasn't holding my Yara. Got my hand stitched up, hurt like hell. Yara was in tears. Silver lining. Yara finally heard me out. My brother, though, kept running his mouth. I pulled out some knee pads I'd bought for him earlier. Since he couldn't resist taking shots at Yara, looks like he'll be the one using them after all. Extra chapter. Simon's perspective. I was just leaving the lab when the butler called. He said Yara and Bella had packed up and left with their suitcases. I lost it. Stop them, I barked, rushing home. But the universe seemed to conspire against me. I hit gridlock traffic. When I finally burst through the door, half the house was empty. My wife, my sweet Yara, was gone. My brother was in the same boat. His wife had bailed too. Then we saw the divorce papers on the table. My world crumbled. Yara didn't want me anymore. We couldn't make a big fuss about searching for them. If our relatives caught wind of this, they might cause trouble for Yara and Bella. So we had to keep it on the down low. I looked everywhere, but Yara had vanished. I was going crazy, and my brother wasn't doing much better. The mood at home was beyond gloomy. The break came when one of my brother's employees, goofing off at work, stumbled across a livestream. That's how we found out they'd left the country and they weren't alone. They were with a bunch of good-looking male models. I've never been more terrified in my life. And that's a wrap on today's reading here at Booked for Drama. If you felt anything, rage, swoon, secondhand heartbreak, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow drama lovers. If you have any requests, drop them in the comments. Until next time, keep reading, and keep the drama on the page.